see, homelessness here is based off quality of life. So we, the homeless, we have been owners of cars and houses and we've had lives. We're not convinced by your lies. We are convinced by seeing each other and the quality of life at that moment. That's who we follow. So if I see you, you got clothes and I don't knock all that away because you're homeless or a drug addict. I see you for you and I say, why aren't you like them that's on the floor getting this shit robbed? What have you done? Just like myself. I think I'm pound for pound the best at this because I have to blend the pretentious, I have to blend the rock bottom and find any humility. And with that being said, this is my quality place and nobody has shit on this. And I say that not with confidence, I say that with, when you see me, I see you. Show me what you got. See what I got. Now we have the equal level playing field. At this point, if I put a shirt on, no one can tell me that I don't own that car. No one can tell you that you don't own this car. It's the one who can decipher between who's who and still not give a fuck who's ahead. And the one that is losing is the one that's ahead, that needs to stay ahead by being able to identify everybody as below. So just like every colony, just like every other person, just like every other life and story, everything has an origin. For me, my origin is Philadelphia. It's or 215-267-484 or 610. Unless you got a text app. For me, I went 24 years with without cheating, besides on a girl, of course, without acting like a gangster and not being a gangster, without acting like an artist, not being an artist. No, I went 24 years giving them the step ahead, which was the truth. People lie a lot, and that's how I got to where I am right now. People lie a lot. One thing I cannot lie about is that I'm from Frankfurt. FKD. But I'm also from Philadelphia. I've had residencies in at least 12 different zip codes here. Most people that would think what they hear is supposed to be for me to be to present some type of dominance. But no, I've always been a little fish. I've always been this big. I've always been, I had to pop a vein in order to speak loud. But I've always been interested in what Roosevelt said, speak soft and carry a big stick. Well, in today's world, the big stick is the loud voice. And the soft voice is the strap. That being said, as we see, we have a flustering flag that doesn't leave. It gets cleaned and it looks like it's perfect, but believe it or not, let that thing go through a snow day. It's gonna be brown as shit and it needs to be bleached. Believe it or not. I was bleached for 24 years, eating bleached sugar, bad nutrition, believing in fake shit, lying a lot, until I was faced with reality. Reality for me was when I got onto a cell block and I was not allowed to go lay down with my blanket and my pillow and my little paper until I announced who I was loudly to a block caller who ended up being a rat. And I had to give paperwork. What are you here for? What did you do? Because if you did something foul to an old lady, a kid, pedophile, any of that, you go up to the 7th floor where you cannot get phone calls. You cannot get mail in. You cannot get shit. You get 23 hours, and 1 hour is recreational. You better get on the phone, jump in the shower, beat your dick, whatever you want. But you got an hour. That's if you're foul and you was doing big, you snitched. and you snitched, or you ratted, or you was a pedophile, if you violated, you went against the rules of the way, the rules of the land. With that being said, I sat right there. 5 North. First cell I went into the feds. Upon my first case. It's my first ever time after 24 years. I'm in trouble. I'm in big trouble. I get told by a $2,000 paid lawyer, you're an addict, you're an artist, say that, and we're out after preliminary hearings. This pussy, I don't even remember his name yet. He sent in a representative of his firm to come and tell me that he no longer represented me. Instead, I needed to find a federal lawyer that practices federal law. With that being said, I ended up losing everything and having to restart my life at 24 years old on cell block 5 North. And here I am.
Who am I talking to today?
Lamar.
Lamar, man, what's up? How you feeling?
If it's good, I'm okay. If it's bad, I'm okay.
Alright, what's your current situation, Lamar?
I'm looking for a job, waiting for my job to start. At the time, I'm homeless as well.
Okay, and how long you been homeless on the streets?
This time, today is the 21st, 21 days. No, 22nd days. As of the 1st, I did not pay my rent and I was homeless.
Okay, so you're dealing with an eviction.
Yes.
Okay.
No, not an eviction, because I paid my rent 2 years straight, $1,200 cash. So we're not dealing with an eviction. Technically, I could go home and live there, but I won't not do what I said I was going to do. I always said I would pay on the 1st, and if I didn't, I'd be out of there. So I was out on the 1st because I didn't have the money to afford it.
Okay, so you chose to leave and come out here to stay on the streets of Philadelphia?
Yes, sir.
What's that been like?
It's been half and half. It's been half and half. It's been like shit. I've lost everything that I gained in the last 2 years while working and being off of the streets. And at the same time, I gained network and people that been through what I've been through prior to that and did all the works, have calluses on their hands. And therefore, the next time when I am home, which will probably be within the next 30 days, I know who I gotta reach out to and make sure that they're good.
Okay, and where have you been staying during this time?
Well, I got about 4 locations. Here, which is 5th and Market. There, which is Penn's Landing. There, which is North Philly. And there, which is 15th and JFK at Love Park. 4 different locations. I don't stay at neither one of the locations more than 2 days. If I am there for more than 2 days, it's because I have found work at that location.
How have you been, you know, getting money and being able to get food for yourself out here?
The food, I go into stores, big giant retail stores like Giant, ShopRite, Save-A-Lot, and I go in there and I decide what I want to eat for the day, depending on the time. If it's in the morning time, I'll go to one of those stores and I'll steal the shit and I'll eat it while I'm stealing it. Yes.
Okay, so you don't...
You also said, like, what have I been doing to get money? Money? Lately, because it's the summertime, I knew how to capitalize off of that. I know that every day is the weekend during the summertime. So with that being said, around like 12 o'clock at night, before the bars get ready to close, an hour later, I usually ask people who I can see as the bosses of the bars or clubs, and I ask if I can clean the vicinity of the area. And hopefully they give me a tip, or they allow me like 10 bucks. And I've been every day, every night, at least every night, God bless, that I found a good person that would pay me for my services, because I'm a good cleaner.
Okay, and how old are you, Lamar?
I'm 23.
23 years old. And What kind of experiences you had in this month that you've been out here?
The main one is just being 23 and having that only as of the first. I did essentially place myself where I need to be. I had a house that I was paying rent to, and I had a job that I was going to work to, although the commute was 3 hours long. But as soon as I lost that, I felt as though that I've been homeless and begging for money, and I've been doing dope or something because of the pretentious look and vibe that I get from anyone who's not homeless. So it's been a struggle lately of just trying to be myself.
Okay, so with that being said, what's the treatment like from the people out here?
The treatment from the people, it depends on the orientation, the beginning, however I present myself. If I present myself clean cut, crisp, I almost get bowed to. But let my fingernails be dirty, or allow my presentation to exhibit anything like homelessness, which is to have a bag, or to have dirty fingernails, or to have something a little awkward, like a tool. It's been belittling. It's been depressing.
All right. What advice would you give another 23-year-old so they won't go through what you've gone through?
Remember who you were literally the day before you realized you weren't that person anymore. And get at it. Get back to it. Unless that person is what led you to that moment. For me, I would say just keep working. You're young, you don't owe nobody shit. Most of the people around you are double your age, and they got a list them on Christmas list that doesn't provide their grandchildren or their children. They're harder on you, and they expect that our generation is supposed to just get everything easy because we have it all. Well, they use our technology and they use our advantages to be our age, and they use their experience to disadvantage us. And then they discount us and belittle us when they realize that we're better. And that does not mean that we're all better, but you are better if you don't judge nobody, you're not pretentious, you work hard, and you put on people who work hard as well, and you don't turn around and say, now look, fuck them. No, you get to your shit and you keep climbing.
Okay. Did drugs play a part in you being out here?
Yes, drugs played a part in me being out here in this sense. If it wasn't for drugs, the opportunities for certain jobs that I was late to, or I didn't exhibit the labor needed, that was the disfall of it. But if it wasn't for drugs, I'd probably be dead, because I wouldn't be able to tolerate being this young, being betrayed by family, being put on the streets with a bunch of strangers who don't know me and only expect me to be perfect. And if it wasn't for drugs, I wouldn't have been able to escape that. I couldn't imagine being a 9-to-5er, doing 9 to 5 to find somehow $3,000 for a security deposit, and then whatever else I need for food, all the while getting 8 hours of sleep, only drinking coffee and trying to eat better. I could not imagine. So what I would do is I would pop an Adderall, and I'll stay up for 12 hours, and I would outwork the next man who has the safety net of a house to home and to live in that he doesn't even pay for.
Okay, and what was the drugs that you used? I know you mentioned Adderall. Was there anything else?
And at the very moment, alcohol. Alcohol has made me feel like I can handle any problem I have never been able to handle, as long as I got me a little bit of alcohol for the day and during the struggle. Because I can tolerate, I can go through any bullshit, I can do any kind of work as long as I got a little bit of alcohol in me. And I don't want to promote that. I don't want to introduce that can help you. But I am here to say that as far as I'm concerned, I don't have family, I don't have a main supporter to call when shit's really hit the fan, and I won't go to a hard drug, because then I will find myself in a class that won't be helped. But I know that if I go to a bar, or I go to a club, and I'm an alcoholic just like the next college graduate, I'm more accepted. But little do they know, when they wake up in the morning with a hangover and they get to sleep in the shower and eat greasy food from the dinner prior to the last night, I can't. I I have to go steal it. I have to beg for it. I have to ask for it. I have to smell it.
Okay, so most people would say to homeless people, get a job, you know, things like that. What would you say about that? Like, what's your take on that?
I would say,
and also, have you tried getting a job during this time?
I'm employed.
Okay.
I'm actually employed at the moment.
Okay.
I don't make enough right now to be able to go get a hotel and not be homeless every night. But I also am going to be continuing my career on the 1st of August. I'll be back to where I was working at 2 years prior to this, the entire time, when I was away from all of this. I'll be back there. But I've been able to be homeless now because of the 1st, and I've seen a grace period. Whereas though, what I would say to someone that tells someone to get a job, I would say to them, do you have an ID? And if they say yes, then I would say, well, throw your ID, quit your job, and try to get a job.
Got you. All right.
Even the job itself.
And what would you want to say to anybody that don't understand what goes on out here or what you're dealing with being out here?
I would say I understand where you're coming from. Get a fucking job, get on your 2 feet, get it together. No one's gonna help you. Pray. I would say that to you, but I would also say have an open mind for the individual story. You never know. Like for me, the person that raised me put me here today by stealing my fucking tax return, my ID, and my phone, my iPhone, because she knew my favorite number because she was close to me. And therefore I was never able to obtain those 3 things, which are major. Lose your phone, lose your tax return, and then lose your ability to identify yourself and get put on the streets with no help. Don't think that you can't overcome that, because I'm an example of overcome that. Don't exhibit the energy or the evil that you were given, except that it was given to you and you was in a position to take it. Your fault. Get up, find people that are in your shoes on your way. Otherwise, go by yourself on the motion and get it together, and don't bitch. And when you get to reflect about it, don't belittle people. Don't downgrade them. Allow them to stay where they're at. Because if you tell them that they were low, and that's the reason why you were low, and now you're up, and that's the reason why they're gonna be low, you will be low again.
Got you.
Also, must I say, I ain't shit. I chose alcohol over holidays. I chose drugs over family. I made excuses, but at the same time, I still feel like I'm the shit too, because of the calluses in my hands, because of the amount of tax money I've paid, because of the proof is the fact is that I may be homeless without a job at the very second, but my little brothers have a home of their own that they paid for because of the job I got them. And my music, it'll be there. I will definitely make a song for us all.